Everyone loves a good underdog story, and here's one that you'll probably want to watch out for throughout the next few years.
Ad time.
Today's sponsor is OneFootball. OneFootball allows you to follow your favorite teams, leagues, and even players. You can get live match scores, alerts, player ratings, and know exactly what's going on with instant up-to-date news. In addition to all these great new features, OneFootball has given us something even better. The app is now offering Indian Super League fans everywhere except in the Indian subcontinent the opportunity to stream all live matches and highlights. But it's not just the Indian Super League, it's also other great major leagues, and it's also for free. To any new fans, the Indian Super League is just about to start, so here's the chance to watch legends like Sunil Khetri. And remember, this is all free, so go down in the description, click that link, download OneFootball for either Apple or Android, because I promise you won't want to miss out. The Georgian national team was founded in 1990 and played its first international match against Lithuania, where the game ended 2-2. This was actually a year prior to when the country of Georgia declared independence. Since 1921, when they were invaded by Bolshevik Russian forces, Georgia had been part of the Soviet Union. However, during the late 70s, tensions between Soviet power and Georgian nationalism started to rise. 1978 saw the Soviets try to make a revision to the constitutional status of languages by making Georgian no longer the sole official state language of the Georgian SSR. However, nationalism held strong with mass protests, and since 1990, April 14th has become a day to celebrate the Georgian language. Into the late 1980s, though, the pot started to boil over, with violent clashes between the communist authorities and Georgian nationalist movements. And then on April 9th, 1989, during a peaceful protest in Tbilisi, Soviet troops were used to intervene and break up the demonstration. 20 Georgians were killed and hundreds more were wounded. Many of the victims were young women. The massacre was covered up as a tragedy by Soviets, but by then their actions had discredited the whole Communist Party in Georgia. The event was pivotal to Georgia's nationalist opposition taking over in the first free election, declaring Georgia an independent nation. Now back to the football, Georgia was officially recognized by both FIFA and UEFA in 1992, meaning they could finally play in competitive matches. And despite the team being formed just a few years ago, they were by no means some whipping boys. The team had many players grinding out in the Bundesliga and even Premier League. Midfielder Georgie is one of many that come to mind. In the Georgians' first ever qualification campaign, they failed to qualify for Euro 1996, but made a fantastic first impression. Led by goal scorers Timur Kitsbaya and Georgia's current all-time top scorer Shota Arveladze, they finished third in their group. Georgia failed to qualify again for World Cup 1998, but considering their opponents, 10 points is pretty impressive, and it skyrocketed the Georgians to 42nd in FIFA rankings. However, in Euro 2000 qualifiers, Georgia finished bottom. They fared decently well in World Cup 2002 qualifiers, but began to decline soon after. In Euro 2004 qualifiers, despite finishing last again, the Georgians defeated Russia in a historic match at home. Qualification for World Cup 2006 and Euro 2008 didn't see much improvement, with Georgia finishing second at bottom. Argentine Hector Cooper took over as head coach for 2010 qualifiers, but after failing to win a single match, he was sacked and replaced with now Georgian legend Timur Kitsbala. Unfortunately, his reign didn't achieve much, and he resigned after losing 4-0 to Poland in Euro 2016 qualifiers. Former Georgian international Kakaber Skedatse took over, and his time didn't last long either. Then came Slovakian international Vladimir Weiss, who helped the national team achieve its greatest ever victory when they defeated reigning European champion Spain right before Euro 2016. World Cup 2018 qualifiers saw the same old, but the first edition of the UEFA Nations League foreshadowed the shining light to come. 19-year-old Georgie Chekvedatse's 4 goals helped Georgia promote to League C, and because they won their Nations League group, they actually had a chance of qualifying for Euro 2020 through the playoff round. Georgia defeated Belarus in the semis, but just missed out after North Macedonia defeated them 1-0, and soon after, Vladimir Weiss called it quits. Georgia's U19's coach Ramaz Vedadze took over as caretaker, but was eventually replaced with Willy Sagnol. Sagnol's CV has seen him at France with the U20s and U21s, but more importantly with the clubs like Bordeaux and even Bayern, albeit for 8 days. Georgia failed once again to make an international tournament during World Cup 2022 qualifiers, but again, the young talent were showing glimpses of hope. Georgia nearly grabbed a point against Spain and practically killed Sweden's World Cup chances. 20-year-old winger Kvicha Kvaratskhelia was tied for top scorer with high-profile prospects like Ferran Torres and Alexander Isak with 4 goals in the group. However, it would be this year that we have seen the Georgians and Willy Sagnol absolutely thrive. As of October 4th, the Georgians are unbeaten in 2022 with 6 wins and 2 draws. And they also haven't lost since pretty much last year.
Life like this sure is sweet, huh?
It definitely is.
More recently, the Georgians promoted to League B after taking down Bulgaria, Gibraltar, and the pesky North Macedonians who kept them from qualifying in 2020. And Kirohi Satoshvili again was one of the top scorers with 5 goals to his name. Georgia are cooking up something seriously interesting, and it's time we look at some of those players that could be making names for themselves throughout the next few years. 22-year-old goalkeeper Georgie Mamar may only have 5 caps to his name so far, but that number will go up very soon. Last season at Valencia, Mamar made 18 appearances and had 8 clean sheets. In fact, the Georgian shot stopper went 560 minutes straight without conceding a single goal. So far this season, Mamar has started every league match and has conceded just 7 goals with a save percentage of 74%. 20-year-old fullback Irakli Azaravi of Red Star Belgrade, since being called up in 2021, has 10 caps to his name. While primarily he's a left back, he's been consistently played as a left midfielder in the national team. However, in terms of club appearances, it might take some time to adjust as he just signed with the Serbian club last summer. Another defender to look out for is Luca Lukashvili. The 24-year-old centre-back currently plays for Cremonese and was actually named Best Young Player of Georgia in 2020. The aforementioned Georgie started his time in the senior squad brilliantly. However, he's fallen off and out of favor in both club and country. But at just 23 years old, the attacking midfielder has plenty of time to catch up. Dinamo Tbilisi's Anzor Maqwell made his first cap just this year as a 21-year-old. Then there's the most exciting prospects. The forwards. Kirohi Satoshvili this year has broken out as a regular starter in the senior squad. Forward Georgia's Mikhail in 13 caps already has 2 goals to his name. Bordeaux's Zoriko Davitashvili is 5th in most senior international caps amongst Europeans born in 2001 or later. In 21 caps, he already has 3 goals and consistently plays a huge part in the national team. And then there's the shiningest star of them all, Kivica Kvaratskhelia. Since joining Napoli from Dinamo Batumi last summer, Kvaratskhelia has absolutely glistened. In 7 Serie A starts, he has 5 goals and 1 assist. But it doesn't stop there. Oh no. Currently in the Champions League, he has 3 goal contributions and has practically terrorized every fullback that has gotten in his way. He's been so good for Napoli right off the bat that not only are they top of the league currently, but also fans are painting murals already in the cities. And also, not to mention, the fans have dubbed him Kvaradona. And obviously, sometimes when it comes to these players, they could be better at club or better at national team. It's either. But with Kvaradona, he's performing optimally for both club and country. For Georgia, he has 10 goals in 19 appearances. Georgia have hit the jackpot with this man. Now, one thing about most of the players I just mentioned is that they all come from the youth academy of Dinamo Tbilisi. But we can't just talk about Georgia without mentioning their captain, Guram Kashya. The 35-year-old defender currently has 100 caps, and 1 more match makes him the all-time most capped Georgian player. Not only is he a figure on the pitch though, he's been an advocate of LGBTQ+ rights with his rainbow armband. And he did this in spite of vitriol from right-wing groups back home. Georgia's new golden generation is one to watch for the future. They are an exciting bunch that I can't wait to see in the next qualifying campaign. And I am highly confident in saying this. Georgia, for the first time in their history, will qualify for an international tournament, and that will be Euro 2024. So I did it. I made a video on Georgia and didn't mention a single US state joke. Are you proud of me? But I'd love to hear what you guys think, and of course, a massive shout out to all our patrons, including Janusz Barash, Sentily Hank Dennis, Elfavi, Milioe009, Alex Rod, Ulta, Amin Suarmez, Araisan, Arnolfo Martinez Jr., Daniel Ortiz, Francisco Hernandez, Juan Leras, Kev FM, Nguyen Mintang, Parafocus, Rory Burns, Subscribe to Tendetem, The Motor Drive, Tomicus, Vanilla Mexican 17, Victor, Carlo SG, Chris Damasceno, Declan Malloy, Emmett Shea, Lewis, Jordan Clavet, Mohammed Albokhail, MXW, Patrick Barley, President Pulisic, and Unbroken Persona. If you'd like to join the Patreon, there'll be a link down below and up in the annotations. You can follow my Twitter if you'd like, follow my Instagram if you want, follow my TikTok, trying to get to 15,000 there, and of course, you can follow my semi-active Twitch. But until then, I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys.